Dear Mrs. Ambani, members of the faculty, parents, and in particular, my young friends. I just use the phrase young friends. Now, it's a commonly used phrase, almost a cliche. But I think it's presumptuous, isn't it? Since most speakers like me have never really met most of the students in the school. So why should we take for granted that some kind of bond of friendship exists between us and the students? As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to try very hard in a very short space of time to share some thoughts that make sense to you. And after that, if I succeed, then and only then will I hope that you find me worthy of your friendship. To the students who will graduate shortly, I want to start by telling you all that you belong to a very, very special batch. Now, once again, it's fairly standard procedure to say something so complimentary to every graduating class. But in your case, I think these words ring true. Your school year was spent in circumstances that had never occurred before. You had to learn how to learn from home, or LFH, which is even tougher than working from home, more popularly known as WFH. You weren't able to hang out with your friends. You had to get used to living within the confines of the four walls of your homes day in and day out. You were unable to let your hair down at exuberant class parties and class trips, unless, of course, some of you found some way to do that with impunity. And if you did, please tell me how you managed that, because I'm very, very envious. Now, you're all graduating without the usual end-of-school rituals. Exchanging autographs, signing yearbooks, warm hugs, tearful goodbyes, and promises of eternal friendship. So given all that, I don't think anyone can deny that you are indeed a very special and unique batch. But most important, I think you're special because all of you have done wonderfully well in coping with a year that was different from anything that has gone before. And yet, I'm going to tell you that above all, you are special because you are the luckiest graduating class in history. Yes, you heard me right. I said you are the luckiest class. I call you lucky because in this compressed period of 10-odd months, you have had the opportunity to receive lessons which, in conventional times, would have taken a lifetime to learn. You have had the privilege of receiving an education that no traditional school curriculum could ever have imparted to you. 2020 is being labeled a terrible year for the world at large. But my guess is that when you all look back 10 years from now, you will remember not just the death and destruction wrought by the pandemic, but also the many, many valuable lessons it taught you. So what are those lessons? I think that the first lesson is the value of gratitude. I'm going to share something personal. Some years ago, on the advice of a close friend, every morning I started making a list of things that had happened in the previous day that I needed to be grateful for. And it turned out to be a surprisingly long list, day after day. During the pandemic, that list doubled and tripled in length because there was so much more to be grateful for every day. It wasn't a premium sports car or a fine watch or an Italian suit that I found myself grateful for. I was grateful for the simplest and the most basic things in life. Good health, a warm bed, food on the table, a roof over my head, and most of all, for the great gift of being amongst people who loved me. The price of these simple things is way higher than the costliest jewels. And as long as you value these things and are grateful for them, you will make your own happiness. I truly believe that all of you have now learned the hard way how to be extremely grateful for what you do already possess, and for the simplest elements of a good life. The second great lesson was about resilience. In my case, I know that my business stayed on track because the people who worked there showed amazing resilience, just as you did. Each of you is an inspiring example of resilience. For you, life changed overnight. In a very crucial year, schools closed, but you adapted quickly. You faced constraints, but you found creative solutions to overcome them. You learned to study online. You gave your exams without physical proximity. You sent off your university applications. You pursued your post-school educational goals. You used hard technology to sustain the softer aspects of life, such as friendships and camaraderie. Life turned upside down, but you did not let it keep you down. And that is called resilience. You know now in your gut that life may knock you down many times, but you have it in you to bounce back up each and every time. It's an invaluable lesson to have learned at this stage in your life. The third great learning is that you began to recognize and appreciate how much our welfare depends on the welfare of others. When the crisis first struck, not many of you would have spared even a minute to think about how the pandemic could shatter lives. Lives of the people who clean your homes, cook your food, sweep the roads, pick up your garbage, drive your cars, build your homes, look after your health and comfort. It was not until you saw those pictures of migrant families walking the highways in the hot summer sun, without food, without water, that you probably even thought of what it must be like to walk a mile in their shoes or barefoot. But after that, I'm sure you realize that their departure made your lives and your work so much more difficult. It hit home to you that the poorest of the poor are the foundations on which our economic prosperity and the quality of life depends. No man is an island, and the pandemic has taught you that our welfare lies in taking care of the welfare of others. So congratulations on successfully graduating at such a difficult time. Congratulations on your grit and courage in rising above all odds. Congratulations on being the recipients of an unimaginably unique and profound education. I pray that you will use the knowledge you have gained to build a better world. All of you who pass through the portals of the Ambani School are privileged. Use that privilege. Use that privilege to better the lives of those who make your life better. I know that you will do that. I'm confident you'll do that because you are a batch that has been fortunate enough to attend not just an outstanding school, but the finest school in the universe, the school of life. Here's to your success, health, and happiness.